If everyone would please come over and take your seats, we're going to get started. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're about to get started. For those of you in the cyberspace world, sorry if you had to wait. I guess we're beginning our first service in 2024. It's Jewish Standard Time. We had a wonderful dinner together. Hopefully you had a nice Shabbos meal at home. For those of you who are interested, this is water. Let's everyone take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Prepare ourselves for sacred worship on this, our first service of 2024. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How wonderful it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together. Let that be so, Ken Yiratzon, in this coming year. Hine matov u'manayim. Page 128. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. yachad. Hine mato, hine mato. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine mato, hine mato. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine mato v'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine mato v'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Most of you were at the Rabbi Cantor's coffee house. Doesn't it seem kind of odd, musicians and all of us? It seems like for weeks all we were doing was preparing all that secular music and music of the standards and ballads and 70s and 80s, and now here we are doing our Judaic music. It's a shift. We all have to be prepared to shift. Musicians, are you ready to shift into this Judaic realm? That which fuels everything? Well, we are going to kindle the lights of Shabbat to get us into that groove, and Sue Jones is going to come forward, one of our matriarchs of the community. You can find the candle blessing on page 120. For those of you that are new, raise your hand if you're new so everyone can look at you and say, welcome, 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 wonderful. Actually, Zach is one of our most recent new members to the group. We're thrilled to have him. And actually, we've got some other ones here that, well, you're not so new anymore. You're just like family that's been around all the time, but you're still new. We need to have a welcoming new member Shabbat, but we haven't done it since before COVID, so we're not sure anymore who's new and who's not. Because you know it is said that when we come together, we were all together before thousands of years ago at Sinai, and now we're all together again. Some of us have left and come back. So here we all are, right? So we're just, souls circulating around each other. So we're going to make 3 circles, bringing the light into our being as we make that connection. 2 candlesticks, representing the divine partnership of 2 loving individuals, and also the partnership between Am Yisrael and Adonai, humanity, and the divine. So we'll make those 3 circles. And cover our eyes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Hug someone next to you or yourself and say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Okay. We are going to welcome in the messengering angels on page 142 with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Halachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Vochem LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Halachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. 3rd verse. Baruch Hu LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Halachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sechem LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Halachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And let us read the English as we invite the angels to be with us on our journey at the beginning of this secular year and throughout it. Peace be to you, O ministering angels, messengers of the Most High, together on the bottom of 142. Majesty of majesties, Holy One, a blessing. Enter in peace, O messengers of peace, angels of the Most High. Majesty of majesties, Holy One, a blessing. Bless me with peace, O messengers of peace, angels of the Most High. Majesty of majesties, Holy One of blessing, depart in peace, O messengers of peace, angels of the Most High. Majesty of majesties, Holy One of blessing. And now if you'll turn back to 138, we have Lachad Odi, where we're going to welcome in the Sabbath bride. We'll do verses 1, 5, and 9. And when we get to 9, we rise, we turn around and face the door to welcome in the Sabbath bride. Lachad Odi. Lecha lecha dodi, likra kala, pene Shabbat nekabla. Lecha lecha dodi, likra kala, pene Shabbat nekabla. La 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 lecha dodi, likra kala, pene Shabbat nekabla. Lecha lecha dodi, likra kala, pene Shabbat nekabla. Shamor v'zachor v'ribur echad, Hishmiyanu el hamichad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, L'Shem l'Tiferet v'lidahi la 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 Hadofi, Likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla, L'Hadodi, Likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabla. Verse 5, Hitoreri, Kiva orekumi ori, ori shidaveri, Kavod Adonai, lightning la 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 Hadofi, Likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabla, L'Hadodi, Likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabla. Verse 9, V'oi v'shalom ater hetpala, Gam besimcha v'sohana, Tachanunei am segula, V'oi chala, Lecha dodi, likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabla. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabla. Pene Shabbat nekabla. Pene Shabbat nekabla. Woo! Please be seated. So now we have warmed ourselves up with our Kabbalah Shabbat portion. And let us read on the bottom of page 145, and then our Chatzi Kaddish, which separates the Kabbalah Shabbat portion from the Baruch Hu and our official call to worship. Bottom of 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even in unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence. Yikda v'yikda shmei rabba, v'yalmad yivrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayedecho v'Yisrael, v'gala, uv'izmahan karirim ro. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach, le'alam lo ve'amaya. V'yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yithalev, v'yithalal, shemei dekudashah, v'rechu le'elam min kol berchata, v'shirata, tushbechata, v'nechemata, da'amihiran be'alma. Please rise, v'yimeru. Amen. And our Baruch Hu, our official call to worship, is on page 146. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai dai. Please be seated. Let us read together on the bottom of page 147. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you, we seek the light and the warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and the joy of your presence. And now we have our evening prayer, our Ma'ariv, our Ravim on page 148. And we have had our Hebrew meditation class where we were meditating on the Hebrew letters over there. These are the Hebrew letters and the Hebrew Aleph Bet. And then these are the tribes over here. You can donate for the tribes. You can donate a leaf in honor of a special occasion. We have a board here of people. They've honored people who have passed or moved on, as well as on our tree of life over there, or had a wedding or an anniversary or birthday. But we meditated on the Hebrew letters because they manifest energy. And we are about to move into the actual reading of the prayers. So if you want to get more fluent at just reading the Hebrew and the prayers, then you should join the class. But we will start, I think we discussed, with about 15 or 20 minutes to continue on the meditation with the Hebrew letters, and then that connection with the letters is much stronger. Someone was actually noticing, they thought that one of the people who recently converted was just a master Hebrew reader because he knew all his letters, but it's because he's done the meditation. So please feel free to join us. We also have Eastern meditation on Mondays. If you have a cell phone, please turn it off because we are going to call God with our spirits and our souls and our connection to the Hebrew itself. So at the bottom of page 149 and then the Hebrew text on 148. This is an hour of change, and within it we stand, uncertain, on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? And now we'll do the text. And if you are interested, please email me and let me know. We're going to start the class up again in accordance with everybody's busy schedules, including our synagogue social calendar. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach she'arim, v'buna meshane itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'mesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem, barakia kirtzano, v'rayom b'layla, v'le'or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevih layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'vehi layla, Adonai Sabaoth Shemo El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed V'Havruch Atah Adonai Hamariv Haravim. And now we have our Shema on page 152 and 153. If you connect to the Shema, will you bear witness to the oneness of God? If you do that seated, please stay seated. And if you like to stand, please do that. And the first thing that we're going to do before we sing it is we're just going to use it as sort of like an opportunity to connect to our breath, since this is the first time we're doing it together in this new year. So root your feet, whether you're seated or standing. And take a deep breath in, and we're going to just chant it first as the meditation. Without music, we're just going to do the words. So take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And now we'll sing the prayer. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Please be seated. Devei Hafta on page 154. Let us read the English. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשמרך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, Emet. So I just had a thought, Marianne. This is the third Friday of January. A month from now, on the third Friday of February, Dan will be here, and it will be a sisterhood lay-led service because 17 of us are going to be on a ship in Mexico. And usually when my husband and I go on trips, I always end up being the one leading the Sabbath service. But quite frankly, with 17 of us, it will be a work day for me because everyone's going to be, even though it's a day of rest. But what I was thinking, Marianne, is maybe you should bring your violin. I know that Kathy Cohen wants Mark to bring his ukulele and teach her how to play ukulele. Amy's not going on the cruise, but I don't know. Too bad Hilda can't bring her harp. They should make like a little mini harp. Maybe we should find out if there's a harp in the musicians' Yes, it is. And Glenn could bring his guitar. I guess I could bring mine, but I'm sort of on strike, so. But anyway, so please support the sisterhood because they will be leaving the service, and it will just be a service and then dessert after. But I know that we're going to have to deal with the Princess Cruise Lines on what time our dinner is, because they always put Shabbat before the dinner time, and it's a kind of a conflict. But anyway, please come here if you're not on the cruise, and be sure to join us on the next one. So on the top of 157th, before we do our Michamocha, where we celebrate our ability to be free and make choices, and as we remember the exodus that we had, you know, the exodus happens all the time. We always have moments when we have to figure out what's enslaving us and what we can be set free from. Remember this when you hear the sermon. Standing on the top of 157, the text. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternal Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. And let us read the text on the bottom as an ode to 2024. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for that day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Let that be true once more again. May there be peace over there in Yerushalayim and beyond. Michamocha, page 158. If you want to dance around, please do. Marianne, are you going to lead them? Old minstrel Marianne, fiddler on the roof, and Amy? Okay, we don't have Jeremy and Heather out here, so I'm expecting other people to get up and dance, if you're so inclined. Michamocha! Ya ba ba bim bim ba ya da da bim bam ya da bim bim ba ya da bim bam ya da ya da bim bam ya da bim bam mi khamocha balim Adonai mi khamocha nedar bakodesh norati hilo o sepele norati oh, sepele, alachutecha, rahuvanecha, bokeh ayam lifnei Moshe, Miriam, zeli, zeli, anu ve'ameru, Adonai himlo, leolam ba'ed, yabba, ba, bim, bim, bam, yabba, ba, bim, bam, yabba, ba, bim, bim, bam, yabba, ba, bim, bam, yabba, ba, 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 yabba, da, ba, bim, bam. Woo! There's a lot of room. Our fiddler under the roof of Emet. Our two fiddlers. So we are now going to move to Vishamru on page 162. On the top of 163, let us read, we are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment, enduring forever. And what happened once upon a time happens all the time. Vishamru. Finkelstein. Oh, come on, you guys. Let me see you. Let's get into it. Veshameru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asod et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Veshameru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asod et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Ani uvein b'nei Yisrael, ani uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, v'shameru b'nei Yisrael, et hashabat la'asod et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim, ki sheshet yamim, asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz, v'shameru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asod et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Vayom hashvi Shabbat v'yinafash v'shameru b'nei Yisrael. Come on, everybody. Et hashabat la'asod et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. One more time. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asod et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Woo! And so now the ark is going to be open, and we have our Amidah where we recognize our ancestors on the following multiple pages. Please rise and remember to do the insert for winter. You have the choice between Hakol or Metim, is God, Hakol, the God of all, that can do everything, or Metim, the God that can resurrect the dead or something that is dying inside of you. Adonai Sephatai Tiftach, Ufi Yadi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ekonei Hakol, Ezocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei v'Neihem, Leman Shemo ve'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol atah Rav leHoshia, Mashiv haRuach u'marid haGashem, Mechokel Chayim bechesed, Mechayei metim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al givurot, U'mido melach Melech Memid Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Ata L'chayot Hakol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaMeitim Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh V'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yehalalu Chasela Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Okay, now let us do the reading on the bottom of page 171. Where might I go to find you, exalted, hidden one? Yet, where would I not go to find you, ever-present, eternal one? My heart cries out to you, please draw near to me. The moment that I reach out for you, I find you reaching in for me. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. And that's what we have to do. We have to reach out for God. And then we will find that reciprocal arrangement, just like when we light the candles, God reaching in for us. So when we are torn or lost or feeling miserable or questioning or doubtful, we just have to reach out, up and out for the divine to be there for us and to say, I need help. Help me, or I'm going to turn this over on a platter to you, take it, and relieve me and let me go forward. So let us read at the top of page 171 now. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see that wherever we gaze, the bush burns unconsumed. And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God, Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. And I know when I was in my journey and I was trying to figure out exactly who I was supposed to be and how all of my life fit together to do and be and stand here before you. One of the biggest moments of revelation was during the sanctification in the service where we say, Ha'el HaKadosh. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sebaot. That portion, God is with us and around us all the time. And we have our moments when we are called to significant being, our purpose. And that changes as we evolve throughout our lives. So on the top of page 173, let us read together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth, Emet. May all who struggle find rest on this day, and may all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. And may all who despair find purpose, and may all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. And then a prayer for this coming year so that we can be better when it's 2025 than we are in 2024, not only as individuals, but as a global humanity together. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, the physical and the spirituality of humans. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, emet, justice, and reality. Remember this when you hear the sermon. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and to be spurred to action. And so now we have our Ritzay on page 174, together in the English. Find favor, Adonai our God, with your people Yisrael, and accept our prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants, pour out your spirit upon us. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael. U'tefilatam ve'ahavat kabel. U'tefilatam ve'ahavat kabel. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom. Well, it is a new year, and the world is a mess. We thought it was going to be so much better. And then what happens, even in California? We start with an earthquake. The whole world is in a disarray. We are at the dawn of this brand new secular year, and yet we have already faced so much calamity globally that we all may have felt we had left behind in 2023. Did you feel that? Last month feels like ages ago. Last month we celebrated Hanukkah. Does it really feel like just a month ago? And the miracle of the light that can be brought, not only brought, but kindled, nurtured at one of the darkest points in our seasonal calendar. This Shabbat, we move further into the second book of the Torah, the book of Exodus. We have just begun reflecting on all of the plagues, on what it was like to be thrust into the unknown, into something totally new, with no safety, except possibly Moses, guiding us through this vast wilderness. We were unaware, sometimes acutely aware, that some of what we left behind actually felt good. That slavery, that oppression, it was all we knew, and yet sometimes it felt good. Yes, we were slaves, but we had housing, we had meals, we had lives, and we left them all behind to venture towards something completely unknown, some grand scheme of Moses's, with hope in our hearts and the promise of the one true God watching over us, guiding us to not only redemption, but promise. We are in a series of Shabbatot that examine all of the plagues that we needed to experience in order to truly accept and continue to manifest the miracle, the witnessing of God, and the wonders bestowed upon us through divine providence, empathy, and yes, too, destiny. And also to look at the generation that received these miracles and to learn from them, to learn the lessons that maybe they did not learn. Those that experienced the Exodus, they didn't get into the Promised Land, that generation, because in a sense they failed the test. They could not lose their slave mentality. They clung to outworn habits and patterns ingrained through hundreds of years of oppression. They were unable and or unwilling to have faith and truly seize the opportunity buried within, protected like a beautiful pearl. They were unable to accept and to actualize the revelation and the maturation into something tremendously glorious. Just like a lump of coal can be chiseled and turned into a beautiful diamond, just as God had manifested everything in this world that is seen and unseen, we, humanity, we have that promise within us, the promise of brilliance and unbelievable incandescent beauty. It's just buried within, like the pearl, waiting to be uncovered, waiting to be nurtured into its destined form and inherent reality. So, my friends, this is where we are now. We stand on the precipice of a new year, facing destruction amidst the demise of the past. So the question is, do we look forward with hope and promise? Do we look forward with faith in that which may actually be beautiful, which may actually just be lying in wait for us if we have the courage to reveal it, to work towards it, and to not stop? That is in our DNA. Our Parsha this Shabbat is Shabbat Bo, and it contains within it the plague of darkness. This is my daughter's bat mitzvah portion, not once but twice, because she was going to do it 1 year, and then the rabbi was going on sabbatical, so she decided no, she was going to wait for him, and then the next year, it just so happened, it was the Parsha again. So Shabbat Bo, and she likened it to the Shiva. You know how we all go through a Shiva? The Shiva of darkness out of the mouths of babes. Those of us who have known loss of any kind, those of us who are here at this time recently suffering and grappling with it, and those who have wounds, current and wounds from years past, are at times inflamed with overwhelming sadness and loneliness and the desire to be with those we have loved or who have moved on for one reason or another. We are meant to connect to this state of intense Shiva. We are meant to know that the blanket of darkness that encompasses us also envelops us with God's grace. We are, in a sense, hanging in the balance between those beautiful moments, those dark moments, so that we understand that God is always, always there. We are meant to know the compassion that can be had when there is faith, when there is belief that that divine spirit is with us even in our darkest times. We are meant to know that just like the lights that we kindled at Hanukkah, unbelievably, just as I said a few weeks ago, we are always capable of kindling. We do it every Shabbat. We are always capable of reigniting that spark within us. And we are meant to know that. That flame of light that is within us can bring the greatest illumination into the abyss of the deepest darkness. We must look ahead and into our hearts, resolute that yes, there is a plan, that there is a method to the madness, and that the chains that are embedded within our global humanity can and will be shattered through our prayer. Through our devotion to that which is unseen, we are meant to learn and acknowledge that thousands and thousands of years later, that journey, that exodus our forefathers and mothers made was not for nothing, because we are here. We are observing Shabbat. We are acknowledging and bearing witness to the true and only God. We are carrying the love and the light forward that we are meant to do. What was divine for us centuries ago, upon witnessing the miracles of how the plagues can be set aside and redemption can follow. We came through the plague of a horrible pandemic of COVID. Now people get it, and for many of us, it can just be like a flu or a common cold. God gave us the intelligence to find the miracle of multiple vaccines to ward off the darkness of intense loss and seemingly insurmountable death, only for us to lose sight of the miracle and the commonality of the humanity that we all globally shared and are now completely derailed on another path. Many have truly lost their sense of justice, compassion, right and wrong, have gone off the rails into the darkness, into the abyss of total and complete negativity. Do you agree? It is up to us, keepers of the light, to fan the flames of justice toward tikkun olam, repair of the world. Hang out with Pat. She's very actively doing it with our group of Temple Emet that's going to take care of the homeless and count them and solve life's problems here in the South Bay and LA County. But it is up to us. That is our tikkun olam. It is up to us to acknowledge that God has not forsaken us. There are just more trials and tribulations that we somehow must endure to continue to learn our lessons. Lessons that maybe were not learned thousands of years ago. Lessons that are still in the process of being subject and placed upon us so that we can experience them and process them because our souls are still evolving. We have been endowed with free will and the opportunity to make our lives what they will be for better or worse, not just for ourselves, but for humanity globally. The most that we can hope for is that at the end of our days, whatever and whenever that may happen, that we can leave this place knowing that it was better because we were here. We made a difference. We must be able to look back and say we did not give up, that we did our part, that we remained faithful and true, even, most importantly, even when feeling it not. This is our task. This is our, we could say, burden, but also our blessing. We may have come through the Holocaust, but now there's another one of sorts, because negativity will always be attracted to the light, like a moth to a flame. It is up to us to be that flame, to absorb the moth and eliminate it with our overwhelming incandescence. It is up to us to burn ever so brightly, lighting the way toward the promise. It is up to us to claim the destiny that is ours, promised by God. It is up to us to be that light unto the nations, even when they have wanted to destroy us, especially when they want to destroy us. Because that light, once switched on, dissolves the darkness. So let us do that. Let us not be afraid or hesitant to actually have it be good and to prevail. Let us be that light. Let us nurture our light, our life, and not become complacent or jaded. Let us kindle hope in the face of that which is contained within us in our DNA, and let us reach for the promise. Let us manifest the promise that can be in 2024 if we just reach for it and claim it as our own. Let us be that light unto the nation. Let us illumine the darkness that may plague us. Let us release ourselves from the shiva that enslaves us of darkness to embrace the blanket of grace that God can warm us with. Let us look to this new year and our individual and collective challenges with hope in our hearts and faith that the divine is guiding us toward the possibility, yes, of actually something better. Hard to do amidst the darkness, and that is where faith comes in. Let us look back at the Exodus and forward toward personal and global redemption, and let us pray. As we begin our journey into 2024, let us pray for the courage to face the darkness head on, to own our pain and acknowledge the pain of others. Let us be compassionate. Let us be forgiving. Let us fight for justice and have the resilience to not give up. And let us go forward with love and light in our hearts, in our minds, and in our souls. And let us go forward with the knowledge that, yes, God is behind us and within us. as well as the community that we help to create this Shabbat and always at Emet, a community devoted to truth and justice and love, ever ready to support and to guide each other. We are not on this journey alone. The plague of darkness and its Shiva cannot consume us because we have God and we have each other. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. So now we're going to do a prayer of healing. We have several at home with that nasty plague of COVID. And we have many that are broken in spirit, many that are trying to get their physical body back in action. There are many around the world that are struggling, that need a boost of energy physically and spiritually. So if you'll turn to 371, we have our Misha Barak prayer. And see your loved ones in your mind's eye. Say their names in your heart as we send a collective uplifting of prayer and light that we can share, that divine light that is within us. We have seen it happen and help so many in our community. Most recently, our immediate past president, Diana, who's out and about, calls me on Thursday, I want to go to lunch. Diana, if you're watching, I need to go to lunch. Okay, let me stop everything I'm doing and let us go to lunch. Who can we get? Let's call Harriet. Let's change the time. So call Sue, she's busy. Anyway, so yes, you can call me and say, let's do lunch. Anyway, let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and thank God for the healing that is possible when we have faith, hope, and love guiding us. Mi shevera avotenu mekor havracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shevera imotenu mekor havracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, and now if you'll turn to 586 at the bottom, rise if you're able for our Leinu, and it continues in the next couple of pages. 586. Let us read the English on the bottom of the page. Let us now praise the sovereign of the universe and proclaim the greatness of the Creator, who has set us apart from the other families of the earth, giving us a destiny unique among the nations. We bend the knee and bow, acknowledging the supreme sovereign, the Holy One of blessing. Aleinu l'shaveach ladon hakol, l'teit gila le'yotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim ומשתחווים ומדים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. And together the English on the top of page 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved, each of us, for the peace that we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. Please be seated. I don't know if this had been open for a while. You're not supposed to stand with your back to the doors open, so it was slightly open. So next time, if that's ever open, let me know it's open, because I can't see it. So anyway, you can see it. Well, now we're going to turn to page 598 and think of those who have moved on, that we have loved and lost in the heavenly realm. 598, and I know that my husband is sponsoring the service in honor of his beloved father who has passed. I know many of us in this room have loved and lost, and we think of them at this time. And if you look at the English, there's no mention, even though it's the mourner's Kaddish, of mourning or darkness or death. It's all about glorifying and exalting the divine. Why? Because the divine has given to us the opportunity to love and share and live life with family and community. And when that praise is put out, it reflects upon our loved ones and all of us. So you can say the text with me, or you can just say amen when I say the Imaru, which means let us all say. Amen means I agree. Now, if you've lost someone in the last 7 days, would you please rise and say your loved one's name and stay standing? And if you're in the spiritual cyber world, the cosmic zone out there, say the names as well. The last 7 days. Oh, sorry there. And the last 30 days, if you've lost someone in the last 30 days. If you're in the Shloshim period. If you've lost someone in the last 11 months, or raise your hand if you're already standing, the last 11 months. Judy? Zach? Natalie and Bob? And Gail? Marianne? Amy? Anybody else? And if you are honoring the anniversary of a loved one's death, a yahrzeit, raise your hand and stand. Shilda? Stay standing, Judy? Mark Rickard?
My grandfather, Bernard Reichert, and my aunt, Ida Reichert.
Natalie? Joel?
My father, Newton Rubin, and my friend, Lee Freed.
Harriet? Anybody else? And together we rise, if you're able, for the Kaddish on page 598. At home, hopefully you've said the names as well. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, Ve'elma divrach shilte ve'yamlich machute. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedechol Beit Yisrael. Va'agalav izman kariv v'ru. Yehe Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam U'Lalmei Amaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitalev V'yitalal Shemei L'Kudashah B'rechu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Ta'amiran Ve'alama V'yimeru Amen. Yehe Shalama Rabbah Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'okol Yisrael V'yimeru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru, amen. May God, who is the author of life and death, the creator of everything seen and unseen, grant peace to those who are struggling with loss at this time, peace to those around the world who are also suffering, and peace to all humanity and our loved ones in the spiritual realm as together we say, Amen. Please be seated as we have some announcements from our president. Mary Ann.
Oh, thank you, Rabbi Didi. Coming from you, that's a true compliment. Shabbat Shalom. We got the microphone right? Very good. Okay. Well, I think I have one more Happy New Year in me. Happy New Year to everyone here in our sanctuary and everyone out there on live stream YouTube. Thank you, Mr. Mark Tannin, for your skill and your diligence in providing that for everybody. Thank you, Rabbi Didi, for another wonderful sermon to sustain us until we meet again. Thank you to our wonderful musicians, Daniel Spector, Amy, and I was privileged to get my practice time in and my prayer time as well. Let's see, where do we start? Well, we'll start with some of our educational classes. I know that Roger's meditation, Eastern meditation, is on Zoom on Mondays. I'm not sure exactly the status of that, but I think it's still happening. I know Harriet does it, and she can give you
7 o'clock on Mondays.
If you want to, maybe Harriet can tell you how to get the Zoom link from Roger, if somebody's interested in the meditation. Then Tuesday, to be started up again, would be Mark Tannin's Hebrew Legends. And Wednesday, of course, the last Wednesday of the month, 31st. The 31st this time. Is it 31st?
Yes.
Or is it 27th?
It's the 31st.
31st, January, okay, January 21st will be
31st.
31st, Daniel Spector's Music Appreciation Class. And as Rabbi said, the Hebrew meditation will, to be decided, will start again soon.
Right, depending on the people in the class and those who want to join, let me know. And it will also transition into reading of the letters and eventually a B'nai Mitzvah class for those or
Now our
repeat.
service and our Oneg tonight is sponsored by Mark Tannin in loving memory of his father, Dr. Albert Tannin. And then our flowers, our beautiful flowers, are sponsored by Joy and Bob Feldman in honor of Bob's 90th birthday.
Happy birthday, Bob.
And I just found out they're my neighbors, so I'm going to drop those off to them on the way home, those beautiful flowers. Okay, now the fun part. Now, a rabbi's sermon about darkness, but Marsha and Rabbi are not dark. They've just been going forward with fun and life. I have a lot of things coming up to tell you about, so make sure I get this. Now, today was our dinner, which was wonderful. Wednesday, January 24th, our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Pat Alexander is going from 8 to 10:30. You're going to do a homeless count in Torrance. I'm not sure how they do that, the structure. Pat can give you more information, but if you're interested and available, it's January 24th, 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. So Pat Alexander and some of our other congregants will be doing that very important service on Wednesday. January 27th, Saturday, is the Havdalah service at 7 p.m., led by cantorial soloist Stacy Morris here in our sanctuary. Wednesday, January 31st, the Lunch Bunch. New time, 1:30 p.m. at Creme de la Crepe at Rolling Hills Estates. That's the one by Trader Joe's there up.
No, it's up by Good Stuff. We just
by
moved
Good-
to them.
oh, I
because
see.
Supposedly they'll give us separate checks.
Okay, so Creme de la Crepe, 1:30, January 31st. Now, our next service will be February 2nd. It's the first Friday at 5 p.m. And then after, we'll be going to dinner at the original Alfredo's restaurant, which is down the street on Narbonne.
The Mexican right down the street.
And this one I'm looking forward to. I'll be attending this one. February 4th, the Culinary Club is going to brunch at 11 a.m. at Claire's at the Museum Restaurant, which is adjacent to the Long Beach Museum of Art. And then once you've had brunch and seen the museum, if it's optional to see a movie at the AMC Marina Pacifica in Long Beach. And the movie is called Argyle, which I'm not really familiar with.
Actually, for cat lovers, I think they will like it. The question is, you know, who's actually the undercover agent? It's not a cartoon, it's a spy thriller.
You said cat lovers? I have 3 cats. It sounds like something I should see. Okay, so then February 10th, Saturday, 10:30 in the morning, we are second Saturday service, followed by lunch at the Lazy Dog Cafe. And you can bring your fur babies, your pets, well-behaved pets. Probably seat them over there because it's a good distance between the congregants, and if they get fussy, you can move them off into the street, you know, so it makes it...
Not the street, but maybe the parking
Yeah,
lot.
you can move
under
away,
a nice tree.
take them for a walk around the neighborhood.
Go to the
because they
park.
get fussy sometimes, you know, so. Okay, so that we do the 10th of February. Then the Super Bowl party, February 11th. That will be, I was at 3 o'clock?
Yes, if you're bringing food, come at 3. The game starts right at 3:30. And so the church is here, so they'll have to hustle bustle out or join us, and we'll be hustling in. The Rabbi's Discretionary Fund purchased a wonderful popcorn maker. Jeremy is expert at making this popcorn. So we will have popcorn, and it's potluck, and we're gonna have a chili cook-off. There will be prizes for anyone who brings chili. It's not a contest, it's just a tasty extravaganza, as we always do here. Please come, let us know if you're coming.
Yeah, so that'll be a chili cook-off, prizes, football pool, many chances to win, Super Bowl, February 11th.
And you don't have to like football, you could just like the commercials.
So I'm coming for the snacks. Yeah, okay. February 15th to 19th, Temple Emet, we're going on a cruise. And on that cruise, Hilda's, who unfortunately is a little under the weather, so she's not with us, she'll be back soon. Her husband, Glenn Kwan, is going to teach line dancing on the cruise. It's going to be great fun. So that'll be the 15th through 19th. And February 16th will be a lay-led service here by the Sisterhood, because Rabbi will be with us on the cruise.
Yes.
We're
having Shabbat
have
on the
some-
high seas.
some Hebrew meditation on the high seas. That's what we need. Okay.
And Pat Alexander is leading it, and there will be a cast of other characters, right, Pat? Okay.
Okay, so and Dan will be here as well.
Yes.
Dan will be here to guide them on February 16th, the lay-led service. So, on February 24th, another Havdalah, 7 p.m. with cantorial soloist Stacy Morris. Last but not least, Wednesday, February 28th at 1:30, another lunch bunch to be decided, the event. And then stay tuned for upcoming events, including early bird suppers, Purim, a very special bar mitzvah and celebration, and our annual gala, which is coming up in June. And this is my favorite line of all that the rabbi wrote. We love to pray and play together. Come join us.
This is true. Thank you so much. Great job.
Have I forgot anything?
No, that was wonderful.
Okay.
And that very special Mark Riker, raise your hand. Those of you that don't know, he's having his bar mitzvah, his second bar mitzvah, on his actual birthday bar mitzvah day. So it's very exciting. And it's a very special Shabbat. It's actually Shabbat Parah, the Shabbat of the red heifer, which he is grappling with his bar mitzvah boy sermon that we will work on together. But anyway, so thank you so much. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Why don't you
Shabbat
stay
shalom.
up here? Everybody, we want to thank Tilde and Elias for being up here on the bima with us. And if you're able to rise and put your arm around someone, we're going to bless each other with the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction. Oh, come on here. Come on. You want to come in? You can come in. You guys can come in if you want. You want them to see you up here? Come on up. It's a new year. Let us all shining, smiling faces. Okay, are we ready? May God bless you and keep you. May God's countenance shine upon you. May God be with you always, guiding you, supporting you, lifting you up, and grant you peace. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav alecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha. ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat shalom. And what is our closing song going to be? Oseh shalom, a prayer for peace. Thank you to Sue for kindling that light that we're going to kindle in ourselves and keep it going for the new year. Oseh shalom, the last lines of the Kaddish, and then we're going to go over there for Kiddush and Motzi. Oseh shalom bimroma, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Shabbat shalom. Thank you again to Judy and Marcia for making sure everything was good for us for the dinner and those that helped out. Thank you to Tim in the parking lot and to Brian and to everyone that makes Shabbat at Emet so wonderful and everything we do. Shabbat shalom. Head on over for Kiddush and Motzi.